Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm just going to drag all of our cards out here, do our opening prayer. Oh, we're definitely in there with the romance angels today. I can feel them already. Pulling in the divine feminine too. And I'm going to pull in the female archangel cards. So these came from an old friend. She is a Hay House author. Her name is Callista, and she wrote these beautiful female archangel cards, and these arrived last week. So we're going to use them for our readings today as well and see what happens. I love them because they've got this beautiful galactic energy going on. And she's such a beautiful channel. She's got a very direct connection as well. Let's just open up a nice clear deck. And let's do our opening prayer. O great spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my father, my mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives and we thank you for these good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, Amen, Namaste. Kate saying, you look pretty today. Oh, thank you. I love a reading today around what's in store for the next few months. I'm feeling some kind of travel, but I'd like to see what comes through. Not feeling travel. I feel like that's what you want, but I feel like when I'm tuning into, I feel like you need rest. I feel like this is like a time of like rooting, or like really putting really strong roots down so that when you're ready, you can take flight. There's like I can feel anxiety around your solar plexus and almost like a lot of anxiety around the solar plexus around the future and what's coming. And there's a real energy of, this is where I think where the traveling comes in, the real energy of wanting to escape. So I'm going to bring in Archangel Raphael, who, as well as being the Archangel of Health, is also the Archangel of Travel. But so that we can actually travel inwards, we can travel back to God, we can travel back to peace, so that you can do what needs to be done to create the kind of security that you're looking for right now. Okay, so the card that came up for you is Archangel Cassiel, face the fear and rise. So stop running, stop trying to travel, stop trying to escape, face the fear and rise. This is really, really important. So this is about really planning in advance, and it's something that I work a lot with when people are in the stage of their life where they need to shift from making income either through one-to-one sessions or through group programs where they're actually actively exchanging their time to a place where they're able to receive income without having to be in the room. And that might be through selling master classes, that might be through selling books, that might be through selling programs, but getting them to that place where they are allowed to make passive income, where they are worthy of making money whilst they sleep. There's this real desire for unconditional provision, for having this space to just be yourself without constantly having to worry about where the income and where the success is coming from. And this is where the digging is coming from. There's a real energy of I have to earn it, I have to earn it, I have to earn it, I have to prove, I have to prove, I have to prove. And it's keeping you from facing the fear. Because when you're sitting still, it's bringing up a lot of anxiety of how am I going to cope with this next stage of my life, more projects, more responsibility, more commitments at home and at work. How the hell am I going to juggle all this? And instead of doing what you need to do and changing the strategy, it's like an avoidance energy. So we're going to bring in Archangel Michael to help cut the cords to all the distractions. Cut the cords to all the places where you are currently refusing to see what you need, refusing to give yourself what you want, thinking it's not possible and that you're just going to have to grin and bear it, or you're just going to have to go through this, or you're just going to have to do it, when there is a different strategy that would still allow you to serve and would allow you to get your needs met. Okay, that's looking a lot better. I'm going to just do another scan. There's a real energy here around, like, there's so much anger around not having anybody be there for you. So because you don't have anybody there for you, you're resenting constantly having to be there for other people, and you're hiding it very well. But we're just going to let Archangel Uriel in here to just root out all this, the bitterness that's formed as a result of not knowing and not having your needs met. And I'm going to bear witness to the suffering of that instead of denying it, silencing it, hiding it. We're just going to bear witness to it. The injustice, the suffering, the places where we give and we don't have our needs met, and it's so hard and it's not fair. There we go. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here is saying hi, Skylar. Aisha saying hi, Sky. Aisha saying, please can you scan my stomach? I'm having issues with bloating. No matter what I eat, even if I don't eat or eat very little, I bloat. Why is this? Love and thanks. So bloating is obviously caused by gas. So if the bacteria in your gut are producing gas, right, even when you're not, like, not eating, so let's say you skip lunch or you skip dinner, doesn't mean that you aren't still digesting what you ate yesterday or the day before. What I would suggest is starting to take activated charcoal and some digestive enzymes as appropriate for you. Um, that because most of what causes bloating is undigested food, and we produce less stomach enzymes as we get older. And a lot of the food that we ingest, because it's not alive, doesn't have it doesn't have what it needs to be able to break itself down properly, right? If you ever leave like a McDonald's hamburger in the fridge, it's still, not broken down weeks later. And activate charcoal, because it will get rid of the gas, and it will also help pull any toxins that have contributed to your gut health being out of balance because of the undigested food. Okay. It's very good for that. It's very good for getting rid of colic in babies. It's very good for getting rid of gas in adults. And you can make some really nice lavender and lemon activated charcoal, and you can work with the digestive enzymes. From a metaphysical perspective, it's about being uncomfortable with saying things out loud, uncomfortable with being heard, uncomfortable with being seen. So bloating is like an embarrassing thing. We don't want people to see that we're bloated. We want our stomach to be flat. It makes us feel attractive, right? And it's kind of like just there, embarrassing us or making us feel low about ourselves, right? So what it triggers is the parts of us that we can't seem to address, that won't go away, that we're embarrassed about, that need to be healed, right? And from a digestion perspective, it comes from things that we cannot digest, parts of ourselves that we cannot accept, that we cannot break down, that we cannot break through, right? And that's why your stomach then can't digest the food, because you're not breaking through your own emotional barriers. And people are like, oh, this is crazy, so let me break it down for you. Just one argument lowers your immune system for 72 hours. Right? Most of your immune system is inside the gut. It also slows down your digestion for 72 hours. So if you're carrying loads of somatic stress or loads of unconscious stress in your nervous system, it does slow down your digestive system. It does slow down your immune system. It does affect your physical body. And it does slow down your capacity to create the proper the proper gut balance, the proper hormones, because your digestion is where you get all your minerals from, all your vitamins from, all of everything from outside of the body to get to the cells has to go through your digestion, your channels of digestion. So if it's not working, your cells aren't able to receive what they need to replicate, to grow, to restore. And that includes all your immune cells. That includes all of your major vital organs. So the digestive system is key, and so is your ability to take what you need from your life experiences and release what you do not. Right? And that's what digestion is. It's you taking what you need from the fruit, from the vegetables, from the environment, and releasing everything that you don't, releasing any excess fiber, releasing any vitamins and minerals that you don't need, releasing anything in excess, right? So it's a different, it's a reflection of what goes on and metaphysically as well. We're going to send an Archangel Raphael through an instant healing for you too. Okay, Terry T saying, hi, ma'am. Hello, beautiful. Why are there so many people bad mouthing behind my back, spreading rumors? May I have a healing for that and guidance? Thanks. Okay, I'm going to bring in Archangel Michael. We're just going to do an energetic vacuum. There's a lot of this, what I call mean girl marketing going on. And it comes with growth, I'm afraid. It comes from other practitioners or from clients who are either triggered by your work or jealous of your work. And what they will do is they go behind your back and they spread lies and rumors to try and get clients, to try and slow down your reputation under the guise. This is the vicious part of female shadow work, is they cover it so it looks like compassion, or it looks like care, and it looks like protection. And you really have to have very strong intuition to see it for what it really is. I like the Buddhist way. Is it kind? Is it fair? Is it necessary? Can you 100% guarantee that it's the truth? And if somebody tells me something doesn't pass through all four of those gateways, then I let it go. I pretend I never heard it, and it's all the time. The one thing I would say is keep sending in Archangel Michael. I would say that I would address it. So I would make a social media post, not attacking them, but exactly what you just said to me. I'm dealing with all of this nasty gossip behind the scenes. I'm clearing the energy around it. It's not acceptable for anybody to be speaking about me if I'm not inside the room. This is the stuff that really hurts people's reputations and is really, below the standards. I'm asking the people that love me in my community to stand up for me if they hear or receive any negative gossip. And I'm going to be clearing my social media, etc., so that I don't have anybody who's pretending to be my friend, or spreading negative energy in my immediate space. I'm clearing my inner circle. But I would say that don't silence yourself. So many of us were told at school when we were bullied to just ignore them. It doesn't work, and it makes you look really guilty. I made that mistake last year. It doesn't work, and it makes you look really guilty. Address it head on. Feel free to go down my social media feed and see what I said when I was facing similar things. Especially this year, I connected with people on it. I was honest about it. It's a normal form of female aggression, but it is very, very hurtful, especially when it's from people that you thought were your friends or you thought loved you, but actually they were just using you. It is common, but it is really painful. So we're going to send in Archangel Shamiel to help repair your heart chakra as well and remove all the psychic attack. Okay, that's clearing. Now, what it's triggering in you, right, is that if you're a good person, it's supposed to stop these things from happening. There's this really insane belief that if you're a good person, bad things will never happen to you. It's not how things work, okay? You are not responsible for other people's toxic behavior, and you didn't attract it in, but you choose whether you allow it to continue, right? And you choose whether or not you become more worthy of good, or whether you let them take your self-esteem or your self-worth. A lot of work has meant that my self-worth is no longer on the table. It still hurts, but I don't let anybody take it from me anymore, right? And thank God for Brené Brown because she taught me that. My self-worth is just never on the table. So we're going to ask the angels to come in and bring you the same thing. It's not bad karma, right? It just is people unable to deal with their own stuff. Now, the other thing that your angels are telling me to do with you is get you to do a good girl energy clearing. So any places where you think that you have to be a good girl instead of being an authentic one, we want to do a healing on that, especially on your inner child. And any places where you are what are they showing me? Yeah. Okay. Any places where this is throwing you back into, like childhood or self-pity or victim consciousness, like you can't trust anybody, you shouldn't trust anybody. This is where you have to learn. Okay. So I want you to learn the lessons of this situation. And this is going to sound very strong, but we're going to go here. So, what did that person do to get past your defenses? How did they manipulate you? So, what used to work very well on me is when I asked somebody why they'd behaved in a way that wasn't all right, they, especially women, there would be crying. I would be told that they didn't mean it. And I would also be told normally that they were going to fix it, followed by them not fixing it and them going silent. And very often, them then getting upset and throwing all sorts of things at me that had nothing to do with the conversation that we'd had or the problem that needed solved to distract me from the fact that they hadn't done what needed to be done. Okay. So that's how I very much got manipulated in the past. First, I heard the sob story. Then I let them make me feel like I was a bad person. And the reason that they hadn't done what they were supposed to do is because of other things a long time ago that had never been brought up before or ever been resolved. Um, it's very much like that. So you need to look at how does the person play the game of getting you to give up your self-worth? What do they do? How did the con artist get you to give them their money? How did your partner get you to believe he wasn't cheating? How did that person convince you? How did they get past your defenses? So you have to slow down and you have to break it down. Okay? And then you will be able to recognize it if somebody tries it with you in the future. Because the way it looks, if somebody makes a genuine mistake, is that they'll tell you why it happened. They might cry, they might have an emotional release, and then they make a genuine attempt to resolve the mistake, to fix what they broke, and to not let it happen again. They don't use that to make it keep happening and happening and happening, right? So you have to look at how someone's behaving. Stop talking and start watching. It's really important. How is a person behaving? There we go. Okay, and then we're just going to take back our power. Okay, I keep going. You're saying, how are you doing? You look so beautiful today. Thank you, darling. Can you do a reading for me on what I should focus on the next 3 months? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Whoa. Okay. Archangel Raziel's the angel that came up for you. Learn, change, and grow is the card. Learn, change, and grow. Let's see what the card book has for this one. It's a new Oracle card deck for me, so this one's gonna bring up things for me just like it does for you guys. Life is the greatest teacher. What lessons are coming up for you to embrace? Archangel Raziel, whose name reflects divine secrets, serves on the diamond ray of universal ascension, magic, and wisdom with his counterpart, Archea Victory. Raziel is the magic factor of heaven. His charming obscurity invites us to stay in the curiosity of life, so we're forever learning, changing, and growing. Raziel is guiding you to recognize the magic in your everyday. He shares that you are a library of divine knowledge, and by embracing the path of self discovery, you turn knowledge into wisdom through your experiences. Ask Raziel to guide you to books, courses, people, and places that will deepen your spiritual understanding. So I'm really getting guided that for you, um, it's about shifting from constantly searching for knowledge outside of yourself to searching for knowledge inside of yourself. The affirmation for this card is everything I need to know comes to me effortlessly. Everything I need to know comes to me effortlessly. So Archangel Raziel is showing me there's this energy of like, I don't know enough. So you keep holding yourself back. You keep holding yourself back. More studying, more training. You will never be done learning. You will never be done learning. There will um, always be more to learn. And that doesn't mean you're not ready to teach. It just means that you are like everybody else. You're on your own journey. Okay. So this is the secret. This is the wound you have to heal, the belief that you are not ready, the belief that you have to be perfect to be ready, the judgment that you have of other people teaching when they're not ready, right? Or when they make mistakes. There we go. Woo. That created like a wave, like an explosion of clearing. So I'm just going to stay with that. Anytime you're judging someone else, you're going to hate me for this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Anytime you're judging someone else, it's because you're jealous. I'm going to say that again. Anytime you're judging someone else, it's because you're jealous. And it not necessarily of what they have physically, right? Not necessarily of their boyfriend or their career or their life, but sometimes of the freedom they give themselves. The freedom they give themselves to make mistakes, the freedom they give themselves to be vulnerable, the freedom they give themselves to go for what they want. Resentment comes from jealousy. If you read Brené Brown's most recent book, I think it's called Treasure of the Heart, she describes, I think, over all the different emotions. And one of the most powerful things she reveals inside that book is that resentment is a byproduct of jealousy. So let's say I'm doing the dishes and I'm resenting my husband for not having done them. I'm jealous that he doesn't care about whether or not the dishes are done. And I'm jealous that he gets to have the free time that I don't get to have. So the resentment hides the underlying jealousy, right? So anytime you're judging, you're jealous. So if you're judging the other, like this particular person or teacher or gossiping or whatever, if you're judging someone for gossiping, you're probably jealous of how free they get to be. One of the things I miss the most at this level of responsibility is having to be careful what I say. I'm a very I'm a very honest person, and honesty for me used to mean sharing everything that I knew. Now I know that that's oversharing, and it's also, a breach of people's privacy, things like that. So, I worked on this a lot in therapy so that I was able to share appropriately, and so that I was able to make sure that I wasn't being used, that I wasn't being manipulated, that people weren't pumping me for information, which people were very good at trying to do. And it only became apparent when I started teaching with other spiritual teachers. And then a student would come to me and go, "Oh, I don't like the way that she teaches. I think you teach so much better than her. Did you see the way that she did that? She's not really as good as you. I so prefer working with you." And then the very same student would go to their teacher and go, "You see the way Sky works? I don't like working with her. This is the problem and that's the problem." And would tell the other teacher, "Oh, but don't tell her, but I only like working with you." And this is when I realized that in order to keep the relationships with my fellow teachers, I was going to have to be very careful what compliments I received, because these people were being nice to me to get something from me, right? They wanted my approval. They wanted me to give them more opportunities. They wanted free healings, and they were trying to use flattery to get it, but they were also trying to separate me from my other teachers from the school. And this was years ago now, but that's when I first remember thinking, I'm going to have to be very careful what I say. And I'm going to have to be very careful to be extra kind to the other teachers, kind to the other students, and to not reveal anything that I know, because there are people moving in this space that aren't doing it, or and they're superficially kind, but their intentions don't match. And I remember my mum saying the same thing to me a long time ago. I was trying to help a friend who's no longer a friend, and my mom sitting next to me and going, Sky, sometimes when you teach people these things, they're going to use it against you. Not everybody is like, everybody uses knowledge with integrity. Some people use knowledge to get around people, to manipulate people. So it broke my heart. But this is the thing about Course in Miracles and about presence, is that you become very still, and you start seeing what is, and seeing the truth instead of seeing what you want to see, or going into good girl freeze or good girl dissociation. And then you're able to respond, right, in a loving way. But it's very important, right? It's very important when we're dealing with this change and grow, that you let yourself teach, that you let yourself show up, that you let yourself see the places where you're judging other people as places where you're not allowing yourself to be whole and hopelessly flawed, which we all are. It's very vulnerable, but it's very true, right? Um, Look at the places where you are not allowing yourself to step into your spiritual power. Look at the places where you feel that you might be lacking integrity, or that you might be lacking the skill set. Face your shadow. We've already had the card Face Your Fear and Rise, and this one is Learn, Change, and Grow. So it's a space where you are no longer, like your angels are saying, you're no longer avoiding the triggers. You're now writing them down. You are learning what you need to learn. You are practicing what you need to practice, so that the darkness can no longer hold you back with this. Okay, so the darkness can no longer hold you back with this. One of the things that the darkness used to hold me back for a long time was feelings of being too naive. I was like, especially because of my disability, I was like, oh, people will take advantage, right? So I didn't trust myself. And it wasn't until I worked through my disability trauma that I was able to trust myself, right? And that's a huge deal. Not just trusting yourself with your spiritual gifts, but trusting yourself to deal with your business, trusting yourself to make financial decisions, trusting yourself to be responsible for your child, trusting yourself to be responsible for your life. The trust thing goes deep, right? It's like the compassion thing. So hold steady, look at what needs to be changed within you, right? And hold the line. Hold the line. Do not move there until you've identified your triggers, until you've identified the original traumas, and until you've identified the lesson. It's in a lot of the angel card decks, it's like called keeping the faith, or like standing strong. Okay, Gabrielle saying, Dear Sky, can I please have some advice regarding car sickness? What seems to be the problem if I get sick every time I have to travel? Many thanks. We can ask. Oh, okay. Okay, so the card that you got is Archaela, the Angel of Serenity. Weave a new story. Weave a new story. And what I'm seeing when I scan you is you being in the car as a little baby in the baby seat, and your parents arguing, and you like being strapped in, and the car kind of going too fast. And there's a gut level fear or nausea kicking in. So I'm being shown inner child work. And this card has the yin and yang symbol. So I'm being shown that you're going to need to harmonize your masculine and feminine energies. And I'm not sure how much you guys can see it if it goes far away from me, but I would use the yin and yang symbol with this flower of life symbol in it to rebalance those energies. I would imagine it spinning inside your sacral chakra to help bring balance, and do some inner child work to heal that little baby. Okay, I'm going to do an energy break. Good love, sunshine. Good to see you. Any advice for me healing issues related to my mum? I'm a bit lost, but feel the need. Thank you. Okay, let's see what the angels have to say. Oh, Okay, so you got the ascension symbol, awaken your inner angel, and it's upside down. So let's see what this card means. Thing about using new cards takes a bit of getting used to. 140. Okay, reverse meaning, feeling ungrounded, like your head is in the clouds. Increase your physical activity and work out the energetic kinks associated with spiritual ascension. So this is around there's been a lot of sunstorms. We're about to move into eclipse season. There's a whole load of Mercury retrograde energy of like going deep, right? This is like the piece where you are being shown the things that need to be worked on. And one of the, like one like for me, for example, one of the biggest things that I worked on this month and last month was just letting go. Like letting go and letting God guide me and trusting that I would always be taken care of instead of holding on, right? And this is the same thing. You're stepping into the energy of being present with what is. So we're just going to bring in this pyramid energy to help pull out any energy from the collective consciousness, from the solar storms, all the fear around the recession, full moons, eclipses, anything negative from the collective consciousness. We're just going to release now. Okay, it's looking a lot better. Okay, Jennifer Morgan. Hello, would love a message today. Thank you for all that you do. You're welcome, beautiful. Oh, that's because the rest of the deck, where I was like, that's super light deck. I'm just tuning in. I'm feeling guided to stick with these cards, but I'm just going to open up the Divine Feminine as well, just in case, and the Romance Angels. But getting real pull to work with the new cards today. So let's see what happens. Let's pull a card for Jennifer Morgan. And we have a jumping card. Lead with confidence. Lead with confidence. And I'm helping you to demystify all negative perception so that you can know yourself as a conscious creator of your life and rise. Archaea Faith, whose name is derived from the Latin fidere, which means to trust, serves in the blue, gold, and sapphire ray of divine will, power, and protection, with her counterpart Archangel Michael. Faith, also known as Michaela, has the powerful presence of the Norse Valkyrie blended with a soft and open energy. Faith has been focusing her light on earth to help humanity ascend. She wears less armor than Michael, as her unwavering belief is her protection. Faith is guiding you to look at how you can bring and be faith in this situation. What do you need to surrender and surrender? What do you need to surrender and surrender into to feel better? Alchemize uncertainty using faith's golden blue fire and rest into the knowing that you've got this. Invite the Archaea Faith for confidence, knowing that you are always supported, leadership, self assurance, seeing the best in all, and understanding the source rays. Don't allow doubt to cripple your self belief and the power to act. Have the courage to reach for what's important. Rejoice in the benefits of personal responsibility. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes. We're going to call on the Archaea Michaela, and we're going to invoke the fire of faith. And we're going to watch it burn away all the uncertainty, all the doubt. Oh, so that you can be confident, serene, and sure. Okay. Okay. Luna's saying, "Hi, love. Can you tell me something about the energy which still feels a bit stuck in my pelvis and belly? Are there any steps I could take to help release or rise?" So immediately when I'm tuning into, they're really showing me like not inability to cry and also like downplaying your own feelings, your own experiences, your own emotions. You're saying to yourself, "Oh, it wasn't that bad. You know, other women have to go through harder things than this. Other people go through harder things than this. Why am I so upset about this?" And these tears are like trapped in your pelvis. So I would, your angels are kind of showing me like somatic exercises, you know, like lying on the floor, like face down and just rocking, like bobbing like this until the tears start to come. Um, Maybe belly dancing, pelvic, you know, like pelvic opening exercises, because it's like it's stuck tears at the way that you've been treated sexually, and as you move forward in your life by the people in your life that needs to be released. So I'm gonna pull the card and we'll see what they say. But there's real needing to be a lot more self-compassionate. Okay, so we've got success through action, and it's funny, isn't it? The fire is back in the feet and inside the solar plexus. So the energy that we're looking at, and there's, you see the halo around his head and the sacred geometric shapes. So that it's literally so much clearing around the ear chakras, clearing out arguments you've heard, clearing out psychic attack that you've heard, clearing out anything that's interfering with the way that you think about yourself and the way that you relate to your body. And there's such a powerful disconnection from your own feelings coming in. That's why the solar plexus is glowing. It's like you need to do a really deep clear on the solar plexus because it's the center of your power, and all feelings start in the solar plexus chakra. So that's what they're showing is work with sacred geometric shapes on your crown and on your throat and on your solar plexus. Erica saying, "Hi, Sky. I feel that I'm going to break through the ceiling. Can you help me realign with my highest power and support, TY?" Okay, let me see what's happening with Erica. Okay, so the card that's coming up for you is the Archaea of Freedom. Enliven your senses. Enliven your senses. And we've got number 15. See what they have to say. So, freedom is always yours. You don't need to add or subtract anything to yourself to be free. You are enough. Archangel of Freedom, whose name is derived from the Old Norse Frigga, meaning to love, serves on the orangery of acceptance, compassion, understanding with her counterpart, Archangel Jeremiel. She reminds us that liberation is a vibrational experience we align with when our senses are open and free of bondage. She helps us to illuminate what we perceive as shameful, dark, or dirty within us so we can step out of judgment and into our true sovereignty. Freedom is helping you to overcome the hang ups and stories that have been holding you back. Invite the Archangel of Freedom for transformation of suppression, sexual and sensual reconnection, healing inner feminine wounds and stories, and boosting self respect and self worth. So you've got the core wounds, self respect and self worth, right? You've got the core wounds that you need to be able to break through the ceiling. And then you're going to make your map of where this is in your childhood. And you're going to go and find the core wounds within yourself and work on creating a deeply anchored self-respect and a deeply anchored self-worth. Self-respect is rare on this planet. It's rare. It's really, really rare. And most people can be easily bought, and most people will easily give up their respect and their self-worth for validation, money, increase. So self-respect is something that very deeply triggers people. When you have standards, when you say no, when you choose, the number of, I think it's 3 now, very successful people who have wanted to work with me, that there's no way I could work with them, because not only were they out of integrity, but they would have pulled my whole brand, um, into that energy. So it wasn't about judgment. It was about standards. I have nothing against them doing business the way they want to do it, but it's not how I want to do it. It's kind of like when you say you don't want to drink and it triggers everybody who's drinking, even though you haven't done anything, you haven't asked them not to drink, you're just no longer drinking. People get majorly triggered by self-respect, right? And you can see that when you see a girl basically be like, I'm not going to have sex before marriage. And then they're like, oh, you're just, you know, naive and silly, and why the hell not? And it's like, well, it's not your decision who she sleeps with or when she sleeps with people. Let her decide who she's going to sleep with. And the same other way around. If somebody says, I'm not taking that job because the salary is too low, or I'm not doing that task, and everyone gets triggered, well, we get paid for that wage, and who do you think you are? And it's like, self-respect, right, is important. And two people may feel respected in very different ways, but people get very triggered by it because they feel they're not allowed to have it. And it comes from us not having been given a choice when we were children. So let's just do a healing on self-respect. Okay. Kate saying, thank you. I really needed that today. Aho, darling. I hear you. Joanna saying, reading about a person with the name Eves. I don't do that unless you have their permission. I don't read for people who aren't here and who haven't directly asked for a reading themselves, darling. I need to know if you have their permission. Connie saying, is good day, Sky. Thank you for the work you're doing. Your videos help me a lot. You may read my financial situation. What's blocking my finances? Okay, Connie, let's have a look. Okay, so immediately I'm seeing a lack of support and this energy of having to do it all alone. And I'm hearing the words invisible load from your angels. So this is like sexism trauma of watching your mom have to do it alone, and your grandmother have to do it alone, and your friends have to do it all alone. And not having any time left over, just burning out because they weren't allowed to get support and you're not allowed to get support. Let's see what the angels have to say. Okay, so we have number 31 again. Archangel of Serenity, weave a new story. Let's see what it says. 31. Okay. Change your life story. Create a new chapter instead of rereading the previous one. The Archangel of Serenity, whose name is derived from the Latin, meaning clearness, serves on the black ray of transcendence and potential with her counterpart, Archangel Cassiel. Serenity reminds us that softness is a strength. Being soft helps us lessen our defenses so we can find balance during difficult times. While Cassiel escorts us through fear, Serenity is our anchor point. She helps us turn challenges into triumphs by revealing the underlying gift of all situations. Ask Serenity to transform any mental stories of unworthiness and victimhood you may be carrying. If you see a spider, Serenity symbol, in your space, know it's appearing to help you break free of fearful beliefs. When you release the spider back into nature, say aloud the belief you're releasing to. Invite the Archangel of Serenity for understanding all perspectives, transforming victimhood and duality, overcoming illusion, fantasy, drama, and doubt, instilling peace and balance. So there's a very strong Scottish legend. If you guys haven't heard about William Wallace, right? He was an incredible warrior who tried to free Scotland from England. And he achieved this goal with a much smaller army and very little or limited resources. Long story short, the English king passed a law in Scotland that basically allowed all the rich people in Scotland to rape the women of the villages in Scotland without any consequence. And this is what started the war between basically Scotland rebelling against English rule when William Wallace was in power. Long story short, when he was defeated in one of the battles and he was really thinking about giving up, he was hiding in a cave. And if you've lived in Scotland, you know it's bloody cold in Scotland. He was hiding in a cave with what was left of his army, which wasn't very much. And it was really, really cold. And he had a few friends remaining that were walking miles each day to bring him food where he was hidden. And a spider started building her web. And every time she would finish building her web, something would happen. It would rain, or the wind would blow it away, or an animal would sit on that spot, and her web was destroyed over and over and over again. And the spider kept rebuilding the web and rebuilding the web and rebuilding the web and rebuilding the web until I think it was days after she started, she finally managed to catch the fly that she was after, right? So he was so inspired by this spider that he recreated the web, right? Recreated the rebellion, and was able to find the courage to go forward. Now, spiders, from a shamanic perspective, are showing us a mother wound, like a very deep mother wound, especially for young women who were thrown into motherhood too early, either by forced marriages or by rape or by coercion, and they were not supported, particularly in the postpartum months, and they weren't able to connect with their children, etc. Like really deep mother wounds, that need to be addressed so that you can find who you are. There we go. Okay. Okay, Neetu saying, hi, my name is Isha. Can you please tell me through cards, will I be able to achieve all my goals? I have written my goals notebook. What should I do to achieve them? Thank you. I'll pull a card for you. But the truth is that once you write your goals down, if you take daily action, it's rare that you don't achieve them, right? But I do mean daily, even on the weekends. Let's see what comes up for you around achieving your goals. Okay, so we have Archangel Shamuel. Be what you want to attract. So this card is about alignment, right? Being what you want to attract. Okay. Archangel Shamuel, whose name reflects divine seeking, serves on the pink, red, and ruby ray of divine love and devotion with his counterpart, the Archangel of Charity. Shamuel guides that we receive from life what we vibrate, not what we ask for. If we keep reiterating the lack of something we desire, it won't show up in our world. Shamuel is helping you to be the vibrational match for all you're attracting. He shares that believing you can or can't manifest something is just a mindset. By preparing your mindset, you'll prepave your vibration to magnetize your desires. Invite in Archangel Shamuel for appreciation, development of the heart, higher heart, and causal chakras, drawing to you the best lovers, partnerships, friendships, finding things, heart-centered awareness, and reclaiming passion. Feeling unappreciated, you need to take yourself out on a date. Appreciate you and others, and life will cherish you back. Okay? So this card is like literally saying, rise like an angel. What past relationships are you still holding on to? What did you learn about yourself from them? What limiting emotional mental patterns do you need to resolve before you can open to receiving unconditional love? What would it take for me to love? What would it take for you to love yourself unconditionally? Becoming my own soulmate first. What qualities will my beloved have, and what would it take for me to cultivate these qualities? Is there physical space for my love to enter my life? If not, what needs to change? Trust that your beloved is calling to you too. Visualize meeting them in the ethers, knowing they'll soon swoop into your life. With hands on your heart, say out loud with conviction, through being myself, I attract the most authentic, nourishing relationships. Through being myself, I attract the most authentic, nourishing relationships. So, this one is very much about um, really getting to worthiness of being loved. Because when you don't believe you're worthy, you attract people that don't believe you're worthy. Okay. So I had a friend who was going through a very hard time with her soulmate, and um, he lied to her. Um, he lied to her, telling her that he was going to, commit long term, and then he couldn't, or wouldn't. And then he tried to make her feel really guilty about wanting more, and tried to like get her to keep, their relationship a secret, and all sorts of things. And she finally started to work on her worthiness and on the wound that made her think that emotional unavailability was love. She finally started to see that this was a wound, this was never love, right? And if you have to convince someone to love you, that person never loved you to begin with, right? And the next day, I kid you not, she sent me a message saying that she had ended up having a dinner and with two soulmates were sitting in front of her, and that both of them took her out on dates on separate days, and that they paid for everything. They took care of everything. There was long and deep and um, interesting conversations, and you could really see that her mind had been opened, her energy had been opened. The universe was showing her, if you hold your worth, then we will match that new vibration. Right now that you believe that you're worthy of being provided for by the divine masculine, we will bring you men who will provide financially, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And it was a very new experience for her to have an abundance of men and to have an abundance of provision, and to receive that with gratitude instead of with shame and should I be contributing more, and feeling like she's like a gold digger, but that deep receiving, that deep contribution. Now, let me like the female energy is supposed to multiply. When I met my partner, my husband, he'd just come out of a long-term divorce, and he was starting from scratch. And I had just moved out of my parents' house. I just finished my law degree. I was starting from scratch. But the female energy, that energy of appreciation and adoration and seeing the brilliance in them, multiplies. So, we used to together bring in around 2,000 a month. And now together, we easily bring in 500,000 a year, sometimes over 100 grand in a month. And me by myself, I've had two 100K launches in the last 2 years. So this is the power of the female energy, to take the masculine and multiply it, right? You take their seed and you turn it into a baby. You take their ideas and you turn them into reality, because you hold this container that lets them feel seen and appreciated and attractive and needed, and they blossom in that space of love, right? They will do anything for you from that space of appreciation and validation, and like that you're my hero energy, and I believe that you'll be able to provide on every level energy, and that you need to lead energy, right? So it's that allowing yourself to shift, allowing yourself to be what you want to attract. So my husband provides unconditionally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and I provide unconditional acceptance, validation, presence, beauty, playfulness, openness, um, this, this the wildness, um, the sensuality, and the two energies create this incredible polarity, which allows you to have a very interesting, and also I think the word is sexy, like interesting and sexy life. It's got that fire and that chemistry in there. It's not easy. So it's not like you can stay in your feminine all the time and he can stay in his masculine all the time, but at least, 60% of the time you should be in polarity instead of in the same. Because there'll be times where you're in your feminine, he's in his feminine. There'll be times where you're in your masculine, he's in his masculine. But there should be at least 60% where you guys are in polarity to help keep that balance. Okay, Veronica. Hi, Sky. Hi, beautiful. It's been a long time. Nice to see you. Any news from the angels on practices? Ways to get my voice back. Let's see what it says. Ways to get voice back. So I'm actually seeing psychic attack on your vocal cords. So it's okay if I start removing the psychic attack. This is a theme in today's angel readings, actively having people not want us to sing or wishing us ill. So let's just remove any spells, any castings, there's been a very big resurgence of spells, and some of them are being used brilliantly, and some of them are being used very nastily, right? I call it mean girl magic. So let's just start pulling that stuff out of your throat chakra. There we go. Starting to move. Oh, okay. So the card that you got is Archangel Sandalphon, Center and Ground. I'm literally being shown you putting your mouth to the ground and letting yourself like do the heart song from Theta Healing, or letting yourself scream like a sacred screaming. There's an energy of needing to release pain, like really deep pain, from the throat chakra. So bring yourself back to center by asserting yourself in the here and now. Let go of the need to keep up. Archangel Sandalphon, whose name reflects prayers in action, serves on the rainbow ray of music, manifestation, and integration with his counterparts, the Archangel of Patience. Sandalphon, also known as Ophan, is one of the tallest angels. His eyes are closed as he is completely in the moment, rooted in pure love. Sandalphon nudges you to unplug from the everyday busyness to regroup your energy. Listening to the melodies of nature is one of the best ways to do this. Allow the sound of the air moving through the trees or the hush of water to soothe you. Turn down the clangor of modern day life by resting in the beauty and simplicity of the moment. Then breathe. Find your center. Invite in Archangel Sandalphon for appreciation, answering prayers, bringing your manifestations into form, bridging heaven and earth, development of the earth star chakra, music and sound healing. Surrender tension, dissociation, and any sense of disorder to Sandalphon. He'll transform these energies into life-renewing prana so that you can manifest more effectively. I awaken, activate, and align to the vibration of truth within me and in my life. With hands on your heart, say out loud 3 times with conviction. I awaken, activate, and align to the vibration within me of truth within myself and in my life. So every time I say Archangel Sandalphon, it's an invitation to pray. Prayers are really, really powerful. It's an invitation to pray. So what are you not praying about? What are you not praying about? What are you avoiding dealing with? So let's take a moment and let's just pray. Let's say, Dear Creator, I'm facing this situation, and I'm going to give you a second to tell God everything about your situation. I know that you are still slaying giants and raising the dead and working miracles. I know that you are bigger than all the problems that I'm facing, but it really doesn't feel that way right now. So I need a miracle. I need to feel faith. I need to feel reconnected. I need the courage to make the changes that I have to make. I need you to dissolve the freeze so that I can move, so that you can make a move within the areas of my life that are needed. Okay. So I'm going to do our closing prayer. I love you all very, very much. O Great Spirit, Father Sky, Mother Earth, the winds, the waters, my Father, my Mother, Atanaha, all that is. We thank you for our lives and we thank you for these good, good people. We thank you for all that we are and all that we are to become. We dedicate our time spent together and our relationships one another to you. We ask that our suffering be ended and our pain be lifted to the love and to the peace that lay beyond. Aho, Amen, Namaste.